executive order that was recently signed. I think most of us support it and certainly support the goals of the president's order. I'm curious about your opinion about what kind of difference this is going to make around what time frames. Could you give us your best thinking on what we can expect from that in terms of the shortage of mariners we're looking at?
Chairman, thank you. I think this was a very positive and important step that the president. I think this was a very positive and important step that the president took on Monday, signing this executive order. For some time, we have been working with the services on a military to mariner program, and I know this has had a lot of congressional interest over the years. And it's this particular executive order helps smooth out that process and gives some assistance, some direction to the services to carry out some of the mechanisms that are going to enable that flow of transitioning uniformed personnel and veterans into the merchant marine. It provides direction to provide payment or waiver of payments for some of the applications, for instance, for TWIC cards. It directs the Coast Guard to conduct crosswalks with the services on a lot of the courses that are being people learn about in the military.
Excuse me, Admiral Busby. I'm being told that we're having a little trouble with the audio. If I could ask both the witnesses to just move the microphones closer to their mouths to speak directly into them, same for the members, so that we can have your testimony recorded. And we're also, dependent on these for any transmission of the hearing. So, excuse me, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. So to continue, we believe that this is going to have a positive effect on the ability for transitioning military members to come into the merchant marine. I don't think it's going to solve entirely our manning shortage, but it's going to help ease it in the future.
Right. I guess I was hoping you might bottom line it for me, though. Without other changes, do you expect this to keep it steady, slow the decline, reverse it? What's your best expectation?
I think it will be additive. It will help. It will help the situation. I think we're probably talking on the order of several hundred, probably per year.
But net, what are we going to see to that shortage? If it's 1,800 now, where will it be if we did nothing else?
It really is going to rely on the number of jobs that are out there. So it really comes back to ships. I mean, we can bring people in, but if there's not a place for them to be employed, it will only do so much, I guess.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And if you would, could you tell me a little bit about the role that the training requirements, the international training requirements, plays to the shortage of senior level mariners?
Certainly, the STCW requirements, which are on top of our national requirements that are set forth by the Coast Guard, add additional cost and time to a mariner as they attempt to maintain their license or upgrade their license. So what we see typically happen is at about the 10-year point, as junior mariners are transitioning to the upper ranks of shipboard hierarchy, they're faced with a decision to make. If they don't see employment, if they don't see opportunity for advancement because of lack of ships, lack of jobs, some of them are reticent about making that investment, financial investment, and time investment to get those more extensive credentials.
Thanks, sir. Admiral Netto, could you say a word about LNG for me and the challenges with LNG bunkering? Have you considered implementing uniform guidance on regulations regarding LNG bunkering to ensure consistency and safety? Would you say a word about that?
Yes, sir. I'd be pleased to. We have been working closely with industry. LNG presents a great opportunity, particularly for operators that operate coastwise in the United States due to some of the conditions we have along our coastline that require them to use low sulfur fuels. We've seen great growth in this area for shipping, particularly the new build and recapitalization of the domestic fleet. We have worked with industry to use provisions in our regulations, because right now our regulations would not cover LNG as fuel, but we do have provisions in regulation that allow us to do equivalencies, and that's what we have done, where we have worked in partnership with industry and some of the class societies and as well as the IMO and others around the globe, to together work with them to develop a set of standards that are uniform And we've done that both for the ships and as well as some of the infrastructure. And we have worked with them as well on the actual procedures and the handling and the bunkering. So today, in fact, we have ships operating out of Jacksonville, Florida, U.S. flag ships, go back and forth to Puerto Rico that use LNG as fuel, and they bunker from a barge. We have ships that operate out of Louisiana that go in and out, operate in the Gulf of Mexico. They're offshore support vessels that have a bunkering facility there in Louisiana. And we see more development in the Northwest. And in fact, this week, I'm meeting with some industry folks that are looking to both have the cruise ship industry, which are building brand new foreign flag cruise ships that will operate out of the U.S. with LNG as fuel, and some of the operators that will then provide them with that fuel and are looking to do that via barge. So we are engaged, plugged in, working closely with them to make sure that our regulations are not an impediment to that, and that it's done safely, securely to ensure that, again, that we protect the MTS.
Thank you.